Plan, a fat-fighting formula for healthy, lean living. Now, before we begin, I want to introduce you to Jillian Knox. This is Jillian when I first met her. This is Jillian Knox after 12 weeks on the Greggains Plan. Doesn't she look great? Now, you know, what is the Greggains Plan, you say? Well, simply put, it's a way of reducing the fat on the body through exercise and regulating the amount of fat you put into the body. That's right, by healthy, lean eating. Now, we begin with a warm-up, then our aerobics. Now, aerobics is a critical component in burning body fat. Then we do body shaping. We work on those hips, those thighs, those glutes, and those abs. You know, places that fat likes to hang out on. Now, we wrap it up with a cool down. Then we meet Jillian again. We're going to learn all about her success. I'm going to give you some very important medical information on fat, and then my special fat-fighting eating plan. Put it all together, what do you have? A fat-fighting formula for healthy, lean living. I've already told you that the Greggains Plan was a fat-fighting formula for lean, healthy living. A method of reducing the amount of fat on your body through exercise and regulating the amount of fat in your diet by following my special fat-fighting plan. That's easy to say. But what does it take to get started? The first step is making a commitment, like Jillian Knox did. When she first came to see me, she was a very frustrated, overweight, 31-year-old mother of one who'd been trying to get back into shape for over a year. Before I'd put her on the Greggains Plan, I wanted certain information. I sent Jillian to her family physician for a complete medical exam, something everyone should do before beginning any exercise program. Then we started by taking measurements and conducting tests to see more precisely what her fitness level was. We began by taking her scale weight, which was 170 pounds. While scale weight is important, it was more important to me to determine what percentage of that 170 pounds was made up of fat. To do that, we measured her body fat as a percentage of her total weight. There are several ways to do this. One is being weighed in water. Another is pinching the skin with a measuring device called a caliper, and the way we chose, bioelectrical impedance. Many health clubs and sports medicine clinics offer these services. I recommend you take advantage of them because this is an important figure to have in gauging your physical condition. The bioelectrical impedance test showed Jillian had 34.5% body fat. That was nearly 15 percentage points higher than the average healthy woman should have. The average healthy woman should have a body fat percentage of approximately 21 to 22%. The more athletic woman would be around 15%, while the super world-class athletes like long-distance runners come in below 10%. Comparable figures for men are about 19% for the average healthy man, 10% for the athletic male, and below 5% for world-class athletes. Another test I wanted performed was the treadmill stress test. Because of Jillian's high body fat percentage, I wanted to know how her body would handle the physical stress of exercise. In the same way that we would later reweigh and get final body fat percentages, the second stress test would enable me to compare figures to determine her fitness level improvement. Her first test showed her reaching a heart rate of 174 at a modest exertion in only 9 minutes. Now that I had all the initial test results, I started Jillian on my exercise plan. Based on her figures, for the first 3 weeks, I only wanted her to work out 3 times a week on alternate days at a low intensity. In week 4, I had her increase the intensity but maintain the same 3-day-a-week schedule. By week 7, she was able to do the high-intensity aerobics, and by week 10, she was working out 5 times a week. But exercise is only one half of the Greggains Plan. I also had to start looking at her eating habits. Jillian's diet, like the average American's diet, was too high in fat. Thinking she was starting off her day on a healthy note, she'd have a 12-ounce glass of orange juice. At lunch, she'd often have some crackers and cheese or no lunch at all. She'd end her day with a big dinner. Sometimes, to hold her into dinner, she would snack on some guacamole and salt-free chips in the afternoon. Doesn't sound too bad, but let's take a closer look. 12 ounces of orange juice, for starters. It's 175 calories and equivalent to eating 3 medium-sized oranges without the benefits of the fiber contained in the whole fruit. Let's be honest. How many of you sit down and eat 3 oranges? And if you did, you'd be better off than drinking the 12 ounces of juice. Let's move on to lunch. Cheese and crackers. It's got to be healthy, you say. It's not sweet. Well, let's break it down. Here's a small plate of crackers and 4 ounces of cheese. Now, let me show you what that represents in fat. Everyone knows what this is. A butter pat, 100% fat, or more precisely, 4 grams of fat. And of course, everyone eliminates butter on a low-fat diet. But fat is fat. Doesn't matter what package it comes in. So, if you eat the cheese and crackers, it's the same as eating 13 and a half butter pats. That's how much fat Jillian was putting into her body without realizing it. Oh, you don't eat cheese and crackers. How about America's favorite fast food, the cheeseburger? Here's an average fast food cheeseburger. Looks healthy. Little beef, little tomatoes and lettuce, bread, some cheese, plus a bonus. 40 grams of fat. That is 10 butter pats. Why is fat such a problem? Why is it so important that we regulate the amount of fat in our diet? Well, first, what is fat? Actually, there are 3 kinds of fat: saturated, polyunsaturated, and monounsaturated. All fats are high in calories. For example, 1 gram of protein or carbohydrate equals 4 calories, but 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. Since the typical American diet consists of 42% fat, there's a lot of room for improvement. Dietitians suggest reducing fat intake to between 25 and 30% of total caloric intake. Since you need some fat, the best fat to have in your diet is the monounsaturated fats. These include olive oil, peanut oil, almonds, avocados, and some nuts and seeds. These fats have been known to lower your cholesterol. In order to understand why, let me explain to you a little bit about cholesterol. Cholesterol is found in animal fats, in meats, in egg yolks, butter, lard, and any fat that is hard at room temperature. These fats, or cholesterol, show up in the bloodstream in the form of molecules called lipoproteins. The molecules made up of a large amount of fat and a small amount of protein are referred to as low-density lipoproteins, or LDLs. The body also produces another molecule which contains a small amount of fat and a large amount of protein. These are high-density lipoproteins, or HDLs. While the LDLs can stick to your artery walls, causing the disease called atherosclerosis, not to be confused with arteriosclerosis, which is hardening of the arteries, the HDLs can be beneficial in clearing the arteries of LDL deposits already there and preventing new ones from forming. Monounsaturated fats reduce the amount of LDLs in your system without reducing the HDLs. By the way, exercise has also been shown to increase your HDL level. So, on the right eating plan with exercise, you've got a lot going for you in reducing your overall cholesterol level. The worst fat you can ingest is saturated fat. It raises your cholesterol and blood pressure levels. The saturated fats are found primarily in meat, butter, and 3 vegetable oils: coconut oil, palm oil, and palm kernel oil. You don't use them, you say? Well, read the label on your favorite processed foods like non-dairy creamer, cookies, crackers, and the cocoa butter found in chocolate. They are the most widely used oils in processed foods. Since saturated fats are so bad and your body doesn't need any, simply avoid them. The middle ground lies in the polyunsaturated fats. These include corn, soybean, safflower, sunflower, and cottonseed oils. On the positive side, they do help lower overall cholesterol, but they also reduce the HDLs in your system at the same time, and for that reason are not as beneficial as the monounsaturated fats. So the best thing to do is limit your polyunsaturates as much as possible. This may be a lot of information, so to help you, I've put together my fat-fighting eating plan in consultation with Jane A. Ruby, registered dietitian and consulting nutritionist. The complete plan is enclosed in the tape box, but I want to share a few important points with you. First, before you start this or any other eating plan, see your doctor to determine if you're in good health. If you have allergies, such as milk or nut allergies, you can modify my plan to take this into account, but this should be done with the aid of your doctor or a registered dietitian. I like this plan's flexibility because it involves the exchange principle. This is a system that uses groups of foods rather than a rigid diet. The system calculates the amount of food from each group that you would eat for a particular day. Then you select the specific food from each group. Keep in mind, the 1,200 or 1,500 calorie a day plan is for aggressive fat fighters. Once you've lost the amount of fat and weight you want by doing the exercises at least 3 times a week and following the eating plan, you can increase your food intake in accordance with your activity level and personal dietary goals. This doesn't mean a return to junk food. You should keep eating sensibly even when not trying to lose weight. Do the best you can to minimize the amount of fat you get and concentrate on high complex carbohydrates like whole grain bread, cereals, beans, fruits, and vegetables. No one loses only fat while dieting. You'll also lose some muscle mass. That's why exercise is so important in conjunction with dieting. Safe dieting allows for a loss of about 2 pounds a week. Crash diets are not only ineffective, they're downright dangerous. Remember, there's no such thing as spot reducing. Changing your shape comes from a combination of body fat reduction and exercise. Finally, if for some reason my eating plan doesn't appeal to you, use common sense and satisfy your nutritional needs in each of the basic food groups. Watch the amount of food you eat, and most importantly, limit the amount of fat in your diet. I've attached a list of some popular sweets, combination, and snack foods so you can see how much fat and sugar is contained in them. Hopefully, this will help you fight the urge to overindulge and keep you on the road to lean, healthy living. Come in. Jillian, you look great.
Thank you, Joni. I feel great.
Well, let's hear all about it. It's been 12 weeks since you started. How'd you do?
Well, I brought my numbers along for you to have a look.
Okay.
12 weeks ago, I weighed 170 pounds. Now, I'm down to 145.
25 pounds off.
It's amazing. When I started the plan, my body fat percentage was 34.5, and now I'm down to 27%. On my first treadmill stress test, I reached 174 beats per minute after just 9 minutes. After 12 weeks on the plan, my heart rate was only 157 beats after the same 9 minutes.
Big improvement.
Also, my blood pressure has improved. When it was first measured, it was at 118/78, and now it's at 96/68.
Congratulations, Jillian. Those are great numbers.
Thank you, Joni. You know, 12 weeks ago, I started out just wanting to lose weight, and I've done that, and I'm healthier overall.
And that's what the Greggains Plan is all about. And you can do it too. Make a commitment to exercise with me on a regular basis and reduce the fat in your diet through my eating plan. If you need a little inspiration, just remember what Jillian was able to accomplish on the Greggains Plan. Now, rewind the tape so you're ready to begin the fight against fat once again.